Well, we were finally able to get out and do a little bit of fishing between all the snow, the cold temperatures, the rain, the warm weather, and all the runoff from the snow melt and the near flood-like conditions. I was able to find a few tributaries that were definitely still dirty, but definitely dropping pretty hard, and were about as low as we were going to get before this next set of rain kind of kicked in. And it was a warm, beautiful day. Wanted to take advantage of the weather and get out and do a little bit of fishing. Plus, all that mud, all that runoff that we got is exactly what brings these fish into the river. So I knew that there would be some fresh fish in there for me. Before we hop into the main video here, I just had a couple of announcements. The first one is I am a fishing guide. I do operate mostly in southwestern Montana in the summertime. However, in my off season, I am in western New York, and I guide in western New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, north central Pennsylvania for steelhead, for trout, hoping to do some smallmouth bass stuff this spring as the weather improves. But if you guys are looking to get out there and spend some time on the water, I specialize primarily in Euro nymphing tactics, competitive fly fishing tactics, certainly more than capable of doing suspension rig tactics, indicator nymphing, or just basic intro to fly fishing. I also spent this past weekend at a fly fisherman's workshop put on by Seth Green, chapter of Trout Unlimited. I just want to say thank you for them for hosting me, but we did talk about advanced Euro nymphing there, as well as some basics of competitive fly fishing. So if you guys are looking to learn more about tactics, improve your skills out on the water, or just looking to have a good time, get into the sport, learn the basics, or just spend some time outside, I'd love to get you out on the water this spring while I'm still home. And if you guys are looking to make the trip out to Montana, I would obviously love to have you out there as well. The second one is we do have some merchandise, some Beyond the River merchandise through a Shopify store. I will leave the link in the description for that. We have hoodies right now, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and just kind of a crew neck without the hood sweatshirt. So go ahead and check those out. Shoot me a message if you guys are looking to get on the water. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so you may notice on this guy, I'm trying to do things a little bit different. Those first two fish royally kicked my butt as I kind of threw my rod upstream and kind of let those fish run above me, get into that main log jam, and I lost the fish. Fish kicked my butt, plain and simple. So this time, what you're gonna notice as I'm fighting this fish, I'm staying downriver. I'm not giving any ground with my feet to this fish and just trying a different tactic. My rod is still downstream. However, I do have some side pressure into the fish. And my preferred fighting angle for any fish most of the time is to get my rod upstream of me and to keep the fish either parallel to me or upstream. That's typically the best way to fight a fish, especially when you're going to be netting it yourself. However, this log jam just kept wrecking my day and I had to do something to try to keep this fish out. So I kept my rod downriver of me, but I knew the fish was fighting way upstream, so I'm still pulling that fly back into the fish. So not much concern there. Get my rod down low and really just tried to hold that fish out of the log jam, as you'll see. And when I finally kind of pull it back out of that log jam, I get it into the water in front of me. That's when I slowly rotate my rod over, get the fish upstream of me so I can swing it into my net. And finally put my first fish in the net and not lose a third straight fish to the same log jam. So. I threw this last clip in here before I caught the tree because yes, now the trees were starting to defeat me as well, not just the fish. Just because I want you to pay attention to the sighter angle that I had in that clip and in the very next fish that I hook. And just a little bit later, we're going to talk about me changing my sighter angle and kind of some increases in success that I found once I did that. So I did just lose yet another fish. My flies were just a touch too heavy and I was hooking the bottom quite a bit. And so I kind of set the hook on this fish and just assumed it was bottom, like I had hooked for, a number of casts before that, and was just kind of like popping my rod, trying to break it free from a rock. And all of a sudden the fish just kind of lifts to the surface with my fly and my hook comes flying out because I threw a bunch of slack into it and took the fly out of the fish's mouth myself before I lost it. So, but this next fish was actually very crucial to me and it taught me a lot. And I actually went back and fished through some of the holes that I fished previously, as you guys are going to see later in the video, and was able to find better success because of what I learned from this next fish. And so I talked very briefly about sighter angle. And in those past clips, I had a sighter angle, or an angle with my flies that was pretty vertical. So everything was just kind of like this, and just out of frame here I have my other fly. So let's just assume for the sake that where my fingers is my bottom fly. So I have a rig like this. My flies are basically straight up and down, and they are drifting through the water just like this. That's how I've been doing it for most of the day so far. Well, on this next fish, because I had hooked the bottom so much and was having a hard time detecting what was a strike and wasn't a strike, I actually switched flies after I lost that fish. And then on the next drift, I had a sighter angle that was much more angled. So at a much more acute angle, if this is 90 degrees, this is an acute angle. So I had my rig at much more of an angle, as you'll see in some of these next clips. And what that did is instead of having my flies, which were before like this, one of my flies is off screen. Now you can see that they're both on screen here. And when we talk about zones, so if these fish are on the bottom and not willing to move up, if I'm like this, only my bottom fly was ever getting down into the zone where the fish was, and my egg was floating way above them. And now I go like this, and both my flies are kind of within 6 inches of the bottom or so, or less, about 3 to 4 inches of the bottom. And both flies are getting into the zone, which was crucial because this egg, which wasn't getting in the zone before, is primarily what the fish were eating. And so now that I was getting this egg into the zone, well, you're going to kind of see what happens in some of these next clips. So. I mean, he might be in the tail now, but he was originally in the mouth. I mean, 100%. Oh, he hung me and broke me. Wrong way, pal. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I really appreciate all the support on these videos, and just thank you for all the new subscribers who have subscribed to the channel in kind of the last few weeks, the last month or so, and always the old subscribers that have been here since day one. You are greatly appreciated. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Like the video, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys have been up to, if you've been able to get out and fishing, or if you're still got cabin fever and are itching to get out. So let me know, and we will see you in the next one.